This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 32 of the K-Gun Report. I'm your host, Swank. We got a huge show for you tonight. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers coming up on Sunday Night Football. We have the best guest you've ever seen, the most repetitive return guest on the show, our friend, you love him, Mark Maddox. We're going to get to your questions and comments. We're going to hit this intro and get to cracking. Here we go. Just as promised, here we are on a Tuesday night. I'm at my home studio. Over here, Scott's at his home studio, Jarrod's at his home studio, and Mark is at the bowling alley. What's going on, Mark? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I just make sure you guys know that I'm telling the truth.
On location.
On location, live. I would try to bowl and hold the phone, but, that might be a little dangerous.
Oh, we got to get one of those. Action shot.
You might throw the phone down the lane instead of the ball.
Exactly.
Well,
what I'm going to have them do is, I'll have them bowl twice, and that way it'll make it a little bit easier for me. Oh my God, we really suck. I have 99 in the seventh frame because I had to switch to left-handed. So switching to left-handed kind of messed me up, and I have a hard time picking up my 7 pins, especially after COVID and taking so much time off.
Mm-hmm.
I started really picking it up, but now it's like all my shots have been in the pocket. I've had 2 bad shots this whole game, but I've left 7 pin, 7 pin, 7 pin, 7 pin, and I picked up like 2 of the 5 that I left that's been in the pocket. So it's just crazy, but I enjoy it. I'll let you. I'm gonna set my phone up, and then that way you guys will see.
All right.
So we'll have a little fun here,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for
It's all about having fun.
So, Jarrod, there's 10 pins usually out on the thing, and then there's this. You count from 1 and go back to 10. What Mark needs is 7. That's the 7th pin in the bag.
Okay.
Explaining bowling to Jarrod.
No, what's up, Mafia?
Help you guys out.
Yeah. We got Debbie Emerton saying, "Hey, what's up, Mark Maddox?"
There we go. You can see, but we don't know what's gonna happen.
Watch Mark get this strike right here. We
This
got Rob
is Bowling
Mullen
with Mark.
We got Joey Hatch,
What's up, guys?
Josh Williams, Chris Christian. What's up, Casey Nicole? We got Derek, Mike V, Lisa and John Johns. Yo, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out tonight. If you have any questions for our man Mark Maddox about his bowling form or anything else, please set it up. We're going to be talking about
Look pretty
that.
good there with a strike.
Yeah. Feeling better about that one, Mark?
Okay, so maybe you guys are good luck.
Yeah, we're going to be the Bowling League live stream from now on.
So for some reason, a 7 pin fell. All right.
So for those of you who don't know, Mark's been a guest on the show, as Swank mentioned before. Mark, since you just threw the ball down, he started and founded the Help One Foundation, a great foundation for kids, charity for kids, and we would hate to miss the opportunity for you to explain what that's all about while the people are on here watching, listening to you. Give us a real quick synapse of what that foundation's all about, Mark.
Well, we're more than about kids. We're more of like a community outreach right now with all the programs that we do. We do primarily focus on kids, but this weekend coming up, we'll deliver 50 blessing bags to the homeless with snacks, gift card to Subway, and just a bunch of other different things, for them to let them know that people do think about them and people care about them. So we'll do the homeless. Christmas time, we'll do special needs kids. I'm in the process right now of finding the kids for that. And we do books to Title I schools, and we do a scholarship to help one little girl with her gymnastics. So, we do some of everything. We just try to help people, in general.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very, very cool. And if you guys want to know any more information about that, www.helponefoundation.org. You can check our website out, because whenever Mark has any kind of raffles or anything going on, we throw it on our website, or hit up Bill's Mafia Nation is a website that Mark has going on Facebook.
Yeah, and it's the number one.
Yeah,
so
help number one.
Yes, help number one. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very good. Very cool.
All right. You guys got to excuse me for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. And I'll
Go
put
ahead.
you guys on pause too, okay? All right, not on pause, but on mute. So it's not
that's
too
fine.
loud. Okay. Did I hit it?
Nope. There it is. So as you can see, our man Mark is he's wearing a couple different hats tonight, so we were excited to get him where we could get him, and we thought it would be fun. If you guys got any questions, like I said, throw them out there. Rob, I saw yours. I'm going to try and keep up while we're doing this. Let's get into talking about this game a little bit. What do you boys think?
Oh, yeah.
So
Nice bye week. Let's talk about some Bills football for sure.
Yeah. Congratulations on being number one in the AFC, everyone. We did it. We're here. Didn't have to do anything this week. Just relax, drink a couple beers, watch some games. We got to watch the destruction of the New England Patriots last night. That was a beautiful thing for me. Mac Jones, that bag of milk, got benched. Zappy came in, threw a touchdown. Everybody thought it was going to be, parades and confetti. And then all of a sudden the boy throws 2 picks and a fumble. And here we are in a beautiful spot where no controversy existed, apparently. There's a controversy. So if you missed that, it was a beautiful thing, especially from the Bears. Getting broke down by the Bears. Oh, my God. But
yeah,
anyway.
there's a lot of people saying the Bears actually look good, but I think it was the Patriots making the Bears look good.
Yeah, the Patriots did a pretty good job of letting them seem like they were better than they were. That's for sure. I just love seeing.
All right, let's talk football.
All right. Well, we were just talking about how the Patriots got manhandled last night a little bit.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it, but I watched some of the highlights, and everybody was all excited when what's his name?
Zappy.
Zappy comes in and ends up getting 2 quick touchdowns on those 2 drives, and then next thing you know, that's it. You're done. See ya.
Yep. Take a seat.
Anytime the Patriots lose and the Buccaneers lose and Tom Brady loses in the same week, that's a good week.
Yeah, ain't bad.
Yeah. I've seen some guys talking about the Packers and the Buccaneers and about them being contenders and stuff like that, and it's like, they don't have the tools that they had. Because like Brady, he definitely misses Gronk. He misses that, that just connection that the two had. That was like one of that special connection where you don't have to think. It's almost like twins. How they say twins know what the other one's thinking or doing.
Those
two were like that. They were like that. They knew what to do or what to think. And it was a great chemistry that they had. And same thing with Devontae Adams and Rodgers. So, but anyway. They're sucking right now. We're doing good. That's all that counts.
Absolutely.
So it begs the question there. People said it was Belichick. Then they thought it was Tom Brady, when all along it was Gronkowski.
It could have been. It very well could have been. I will give Belichick his credit, though, as a coach. He does get players ready to play and put them in the best position possible to make plays. And I'm a firm believer in that. Your coaches are the ones that make you successful. No matter how much talent and everything you have, you can make plays and you can do things, but coaches put you in that position to be successful. And, when a coach is calling a great game plan, there's nothing else to be said about that. Running backs, you can't run zone every play against all the defenses and be successful. Coaches have to know when to run that zone, when to run that stretch, when to run a read play, when to run traps and counters and options and stuff like that. So, it's just one of those things that I give them a lot of credit. Oh my God, it's like everybody's striking on the team except for me. I think they're doing it on purpose.
That's a huge thing to be able to pull all these. That's another thing these coaches have to do, is they have to pull all these young men together and get them on the same page, because there's a lot of personalities out there. And not to only be able to coach everybody, but bring them together as a team is crazy.
Oh, watch this. You guys are in for a treat.
Oh yes.
He's gonna bowl with a ball in his hand.
Nope, that's not a strike. But I mean, it is. It's one of those things where it's just coaches make you successful. You know, no matter how much talent you have, the coach can make you that much better. You know, just by the right calls, right blitzes on defense, you know, and stuff like that. Unless you're one of those superstars. Like, I love Bruce Smith, but Bruce Smith, he left players out the hang. Damn it, I missed. Okay. You know, but then you have to play around Bruce. So when I knew I had Bruce in front of me, I knew if a play was going his way, I might have to avoid the guard, the tackle, and the tight end. You know, 3 guys instead of 2 guys are just my guy. You know, so
Right.
But it's knowing your teammates and knowing your, you know, like I said, what the coaches put you in. So, but I will say, this team. I know one of the questions that someone had asked was about what would I say to the linebackers, or how would I coach them, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it would be, especially Tremaine, I would want him to be more physical, where I want him coming downhill, busting heads instead of trying to overrun plays, because he has so much speed that he can't get to sideline to sideline. You know, he can step up in the hole and still recover because of his speed. And I'd like to see him do more of that, be more physical. Now, Milano is very physical. You know, I watched him, and he comes up and he will take on guys and use his hands to shed and get away. And, you know, that's one thing I do love about him. But like I said, just more physical, primarily for me. Meet more things either at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield, you know, not 3 yards down the line, which I see Tremaine a lot, where he's catching stuff at 3 yards, 4 yards, and I'd rather see him catch it at 2 yards or 1 yard, you know, and then fight off and make a play. So, you know, but the rules have changed a lot where, you know, now even a defensive lineman can't even hold a guy, you know, to keep him off of him. And, you know, I made a great play against Barry Sanders, you know, for a 2-yard loss. But the reason I made that play was because of Jeff Wright. You know, Jeff Wright's getting reached by the center and getting chop blocked by the guard. But as he's getting reached and chop blocked by the guard, he grabs the center so the center can't get off to the backside linebacker, which was me. Mm-hmm. And I was able to scoop in the hole and make the play, you know. But now they're stopping that. These guys are calling holding on us. And I'm like, we have no advantage. Defense, you have no advantage anymore. You have no leverage, because any little thing that we try to do to help each other, you know, is getting flagged. Because there was a game on Sunday, and I watched it, and all of a sudden they called holding on one play on a defensive lineman, and I just really literally shook my head, you know, because I'm like, defensive holding on a defensive lineman? I'm like, are you really serious? As bad as they get held by the quarterbacks? I'm like, I mean, by the offensive line, and because they're not fighting away from a play, you don't call holding, but on this one here, you do, you know, because he couldn't get outside. I'm like, you know, so that kind of stuff kind of irritates me with what they do and how they do it. And so,
Mark, do you think sometimes these offensive linemen, because defensive linemen, obviously you can grab and push and shove, but once they start backing away is when they feel that they're getting held. Do you think some offensive linemen are told to, if you find yourself getting beat, fall backwards, show that your jersey's being pulled on? Maybe we'll get a holding penalty on that.
Nah, it's more instinct, you know. So guys go off of instinct, because you can't try to do stuff like that, because that's when you kind of set yourself up for failure and set yourself up to get hurt, you know, really is what you do if you don't do what you call. All right, hold on, guys. I got to get a strike here. Just for you guys, all right?
So, guys, what I've noticed, I know Mark's talking about the linebackers, but I've noticed that he said Milano is a lot, seems faster to the ball. But what I've noticed is it seems like Milano squares up quicker and gets on that blocker a lot faster, whereas Edmonds is trying to, like Mark said, trying to outrun the guy to get to the gap before the running back does, or kind of turns his body and doesn't square up, take on the block, and is kind of meeting the guy on the outside. So I've seen everything that Mark's talking about, and I have to agree 100% with him.
The thing about what Mark was saying, he didn't get his trick. Like, defense gets called for the holding penalty, but you guys do know that if the lineman can get inside of your arms on your shoulder pads, they're allowed to grab you. Offensive linemen are.
Yeah.
So how can you let that go, but you can't let a defensive lineman pull a guy out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all that goes out the window though if you break them, right? If they start to see jerseys getting stretched, you have more likely of a chance of a flag getting thrown for a hold, right? So
Right.
even though you can get them in here, if you're strong enough to get away and they're still holding your jersey, it's a moot point. But I mean, we're talking about the span of 3 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
it's all quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like I said, I didn't play, but a lot of my buddies did, and they said anything that's that tight inside there, it's free game if they can't see it. They're throwing punches, they're doing whatever they can do to try and get you off your game. So,
Right.
it's interesting. That was a high five.
He got the spare.
Nice.
I got a spare and a strike.
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
I threw a gutter ball and got a spare.
With
And
the
then-
strike. Got it.
Got a strike.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. What happened was I bowled on Friday, but couldn't bowl Friday because the kids got to go trunk or treat over at the church. And so we're pre-bowling, and we were supposed to do it yesterday. But then they call us yesterday and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, but you can't pre-bowl. You have to do it on Tuesday at 4 o'clock." And I'm like, "Oh, my God." But then 4 o'clock is 4:30, and yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
And so just crazy. Go ahead.
Oh, as far as like Tremaine goes, we were talking about him last week a little bit. It seems like to me, man, this is like the best season I think he's had so far. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah. Oh, my God. Like I said, what is everybody getting strikes for? Yeah, they're really trying to hang me here. Yeah, I mean, he's having a great year. But, I mean, it could be so much better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's I forgot what game it was I was watching where, you know, everything was a little bit behind the line, you know, behind the line. I mean, on the defensive side, not the offensive side. And I as a middle linebacker, I just expect so much more.
Yeah.
You know, I just do. I expect so much more. And I'm very critical of little things, you know, that people may not see or may not think about. I look at it and I see that, you know, like in pass coverage, I hate when, you know, you get play action, but then you get your depth, but you're never trying to find receivers. You're only looking at the quarterback. When play action, when you get play action, boom, you turn, you find your man, and you get in coverage on him. So quarterback can't throw to him. Okay. If they throw something short, have someone else pick that up, and then you react to it. Okay. Because you're going to get that reaction. I'll show you guys a video. I got a video of when we played the Patriots, and they had Ben Winter Coates, who was unbelievable as a tight end, you know, and was one of the fastest tight ends in the league at that time. And I'll show you how play action should be played, basically. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of that. I know zone coverage. You want to read the quarterback and stuff like that, but you got to know where your receivers are. And with Tremaine, sometimes I think he has such great speed that he can recover.
Right.
It's just another. I'm like, you get another strike, I'm gonna get mad here. So, but you know, he is having a great year. Don't get me wrong. He's having an awesome year. Our defense is having an awesome year.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that's with backups in there and not even the starters. You know, and I mean when you play like that, you can't do wrong. You can't do any wrong. You know, you can't go wrong. And it's like it's something that's perfect for you that you just keep moving and moving, and no matter who's in there, you're striking up, stepping up. Everybody's stepping up, and I mean that's what's the clue. All right, hold on a second. All right.
Yep.
Let me get this. Let me get this done.
Get a strike, Mark. Everybody else is.
The guys in WGR 550 made a great point this morning, and in the offseason, we were all hoping that the Buffalo Bills would go after CB or somebody else in the secondary. They got Elam, but they really didn't do anything in the free agency with the four guys back there: Micah, Poyer, Hamlin, and Johnson. And it's one of those things where they knew what they had. This coaching staff and the organization knew what they had back there, and they have good depth. And same with the CBs. We've seen Benford come in, Elam play. You know, Dane Jackson's playing lights out. So I think as fans, we were nervous about what we were going to see this season, but as an organization, they already knew what they had. And it just goes back to depth, and we have great depth, and that's why we're at 5-1.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Well said, Jerry. Well said. So if we're kind of, let's see, in between the lanes here, do you like that pun?
I gotcha.
Got it.
We're going into week 8, right? We're 5-1. We're on top of the AFC. What are we looking for here? What is there anything that significantly worries any of us about the Green Bay Packers right now?
I think just Aaron Rodgers, you always got to worry about that MVP player. He could have a shitty game. He averages only 225 yards a game so far this season, but he can have a good game just like that. And I worried about that, thinking about how we're going to talk about that today. And then it just keeps going back. We have depth. We have a defense that's number 1 ranked. We have Leslie Frazier. So even though Rodgers can be a threat and Aaron Jones can be a threat, I think our defense is going to be on top of it.
Yeah. Am I muted?
No, you're good.
Nope, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, our defense is, like I said, our defense is stepping up, against every team that we've played. Okay, you look at that loss to Miami. Look at how many yards Miami had. They did not beat us. Okay, their defense is what beat us. Miami's defense is what beat our team, not our defense losing a game. And our defense hasn't lost a game this year with the way they've been playing. Look at how they played against just the Chiefs last week. That before the bye. Look at how they played against the Chiefs and how they played. They dominated. They kept him in the pocket. They limited his runs. Mahomes' runs. They limited what he did. They only had a couple plays that were, like I call them good. I say they had a couple good plays where, things happened good for them. But other than that, our defense has been playing stellar from the front 4 to the linebackers to the DBs to not even to starting DBs to backup DBs to guys that aren't number 1 on the field. And I mean, this team has been just dominating, and that is the key. Like we just lost. I don't know if you guys seen that Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator from the 90s.
Yeah,
that was my coach. That was my linebacker coach, and that was my defensive coordinator. You lose guys. You have guys like we have today playing the game, respecting what's going on, and you have guys of yesterday who played the game, respect the game, and respect the new guys, the new system, Leslie Frazier and what he's doing and how he's getting these guys right. One thing I would say about this year is compared to a couple years in the past, our halftime adjustments, oh my God, have been unbelievable. 2 years ago, I think they went in and went to sleep at halftime because we come back out in the third quarter and it would be nothing but nonsense in the third quarter, And so it's just like, I don't get it. It's just one of those things. But I tell you right now, this team can do great things. Okay, limit injuries, don't lose a lot of key players, and just keep working and grinding and doing what they're doing. Plain and simple.
Yep. To Mark's points with those adjustments, we've only allowed 17, I think it is, points in the second half, and that's crazy. And to still go off what Mark said, our Bills defense has not lost a game, and they really haven't. They have not put the Buffalo Bills in a situation where Josh Allen legit, unless the offense runs out of time or has a turnover, has to throw the ball deep to try to catch up. We're not playing catch up at all. And that's a good situation. That's a great situation to be, for sure.
Yep.
No, they're absolutely dominating. And now we're talking about we could possibly have Trey White back. I keep saying this each week where it's like possibly the best, if not the second best defensive player that we have hasn't even played a snap yet this year. And now he's entering this defense that's riding right at number 1. And
that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's scary. It should be scary for other offenses. And I get in arguments on Twitter with everybody, Chiefs fans, about how Patrick Mahomes hasn't played Trey White, I don't think, in like 3 years right now. So I can't wait for that either.
Well, hadn't played him and got a loss. All right, one second, guys.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
But you're right. I mean, the question is aside of Trey White, he's coming back. He's CB number 1. That's the question: is who's going to be CB number 2? Yeah. Elam's got 2 picks in the last 2 games, and he's looking beautiful. Benford's done what he's done with his limited snaps because of injury, and Dane Jackson's kicking butt. Great defensive play against the Chiefs. He's got a turnover. I mean, what are you thinking, Jarrod?
I've seen a lot of talk about possibly putting Trey White back at the safety spot, but that was quickly put to the side when I saw another comment saying safety involves a lot of run tackling, coming up and stopping the run. And even though Trey's a hell of a cornerback, that's not his forte. Right. So
we'll see what happens. This great point because I've heard like some calls coming into WGR and stuff about that. And to me, it's like I 100% believe Trey White could be an all-pro safety if he wanted to be. But he's already one of the best corners in the NFL. So why would we take away from that to let him develop into being like an adequate safety? Like when we already have adequate safety play. I think if you really wanted to pursue something like that, you'd talk more about getting Benford or Kyer Elam back there, because I think right now Dane Jackson has won that number 2 spot, and at least with a rotation with Kyer when Trey comes back. Or maybe they'll start to like kind of rotate Trey in, limit his snaps a little bit, get him accustomed back to game speed. I don't know. But I think
that idea is great.
They usually do that with guys who have been gone or missed so many games. I think they might bring him. I don't know if they'll bring him back as a starter to start, but they possibly may, and then just rotate just to keep the rotation going, to keep those guys fresh, just to see how he's doing. Mm-hmm. You know, so it just all depends on coaches and their thought process.
What's that saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
If this whole rotation keeps working, what's the sense of stopping it?
Yeah, and that's one of the things. But what happens too is that, you know, they got to look at the cost, how much money they have invested, and you know, so they start looking at the money situation where it is. He was a starter. Starters can't lose their jobs to being hurt and things like that. So it's just so many different things. Like, because I know when I got hurt in '93 and came back from that stinger that I had really bad, Walt Corey, we were going into the playoffs, and he still kept starting Keith Goganius, even though, you know, I wasn't hurt anymore and the starter's not supposed to lose his job. But he let me play sparingly, and then I got in. And then for the Super Bowl, you know, he had me as a starter, you know. But I got 2 games in, you know. So he was happy with how things were going and that I wasn't hurt anymore. So, I mean, that was critical.
I mean, I'm looking at this Green Bay Packers game, and I'm seeing these wide receivers. Sammy Watkins, Lazard might not even play. Is this a situation that if you don't have to bring Trey White back yet, do you let him sit out another week? We have the Jets the next week again, who relied on Breece Hall, and you know Breece Hall had a whole bunch of rushing yards, catches out of the backfield. He was able to provide a lot for that offense. They don't have receivers, so is this a game that you start introducing him to, or even keep him out that game? Because Trey White will be the most important, I believe, in the playoffs. And so you don't want to bring anybody back. We're 5-1 without our number 1 guy. You don't want to hurry anybody back. Now, if we were 3-4, 2-5, or something like that, that's a different story. But we've got a hell of a record right now without him.
Right, and it's one of those things that, you know, but the coaches want to get him into playing shape. You know, because no matter how much you practice, and especially coming back from stuff like, you know, any injury or just being out for 5-6 weeks is totally different than running around in practice and running around in a game. And I talked to a guy here who used to play with the Giants, Mike Boley. He bowls with me on Wednesday nights. And we both said, there's no, you know, we talk about the preseason. It's like the only way I get in the game shape is by playing. Mm-hmm. I don't get into football shape running around in practice or running sprints or running hills or this or that. I get into football shape playing football.
There you go. Okay.
Plain and simple. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they really got to get him to that point. And you know, so get him in, get him some plays, get him running around, and
I gotta be honest, I've not seen that since Sky TV.
Look at his face. Yeah. It's like the volleyball just dropped on his foot.
Is it me?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't taping that. My teammate threw the ball backwards.
Yo, Jarrod, that's a clip for tomorrow on Twitter, by the way.
I got
it. I'm okay? Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah. No, that's a great point. I mean, there's practice speed, right? You think the players are going 100%, and they are during practice. But when that adrenaline's kicking in and they're playing ball against that other team, that's just that extra level that they have to be playing at. And you're not going to get that level unless you're in that level playing it. So that's a good.
Yep.
Makes sense to me.
100% speed at practice is a lot different than 100% speed in game day. Definitely, for sure.
Well, you know your teammates too, right? And they know red jersey, or, oh, hey, this guy's got an injury, or, hey, we're not going, you know, they have those different levels of practice, right? When you're in a game situation, you can't control what the other team's going to do. You can't control how they hit you. There's so many variables. I was thinking about this today. There's literally so many millions of things that happen during the span of a football game, between 11 people on each side of the ball, plus coaching, plus refs. There's so many variables that, like, to have it, like, pinpointed down to, like, this one thing or this one play or this, you know, call, it's a ridiculous thing to think about. That, like, one little thing, one little decision, one step can change the course of a whole game, right? It's like the butterfly effect, right? But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you're injured and you're playing into a game full steam and you got, 100% of the snaps, you don't know what the other team's going to do. You can step wrong, you get hit wrong, you get hit late, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I trust the med staff in Buffalo. They've been doing great, so it's all good.
All right. Hey, I got 2% battery, guys.
All right, man.
Which sucks. So I know we got some questions. What were a couple of the other questions? I know Debbie had one about the NFLPA and player safety.
Yeah.
For my thought process is, I know they're doing a lot of things between the NFL and NFLPA as far as player safety. I don't know if she's concerned more about that one concussion with Miami's quarterback, Tua, whatever his name is. I don't know if that's primarily the question, but for me, my thought process is these trainers, okay, and the medical staff, you got these players who want to play in the game, and when you're hurt, you still want to play, and you're going to do anything and everything to get back on the football field because that's how competitive we are, you want to be on the field. Trainers will sometimes overlook and say, okay, even though they know that you may not be 100%. But then their thought process and the coaching process, because it comes from the coaches too, because they'll let the coaches know that there's something wrong. And the coach will be like, well, okay, he's okay if he says he's okay. But my whole thing is that until they're held accountable, the trainers, the medical staff, then nothing's going to change. But like you notice that the doctor got fired. Mm-hmm. So, that was great. But like if the medical staff, the athletic trainer, the head trainer, and then assistant trainers, if whoever looked at him got fined $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 out of their pocket and not out of the ownership, it's going to change things. It's going to get guys who are hurt out the game. Mm-hmm. Okay. And they're not going to keep playing. Like Husted, he dislocated his finger in that San Francisco game, and or he did something to his finger, but they set it and they put him back in the game. Now, what if something happened and he completely lost that finger? I guarantee you, you'll be like, so what do you do to the trainer who let him go back in? The team doctor that let him go back in. When you start finding those guys and making them make the payment and not the team, things will change. Okay. Yep. And the NFL and NFLPA, they're doing a really good job investing money into player safety. They're doing research. They had like a $40 million grant one year, I think 2019 or something like that, a $35 million grant in 2002. And now they're doing a bunch of $4 million grants to other, like the University of Wisconsin. And they're looking into everything, neuroscience. They're looking into hamstring injuries. They're looking into so many things that they're putting money into it, which is really, really, really good. So I give them credit that they are trying to do stuff to make the game safer for the players. I will say that. Okay. Nice. Then I'll answer a couple questions after I get these 3 strikes in the 10th frame.
Mike V wants to know if you ever bowled a 300.
I have bowled, I think I have 5 300s right-handed, but I switched to left-handed, and my high game left-handed is 297. So I'm getting there, but I want to be the first one to get 300 left-handed and right-handed.
That's crazy.
All right, 1 second.
Yep. Left-handed and right-handed, ambidextrous. Wow.
Bowler.
It's almost like he's a professional athlete.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, just for future reference, Chrissy Kent is a good friend of the show, and we play Endless Mountain Derelicts. My band plays over at Doug Kent's Roseland Bowl in Newark. You get it?
He's got one so far.
Oh, nice. But she was telling me about, like, the relationship between football players and bowling is real. Like, she said Lee Evans is a good friend of Doug's and hers, and that's how they got hooked up. And obviously a lot of professional football players get into bowling and doing leagues and charities and stuff like that. So I thought that was an interesting through line, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't think of, like, football players being like bowling, but I got to assume anything is competitive, right? Like,
yeah,
you got to have that.
Butch Roll has his bowling event too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all love it. It's great.
Bowling's one of those double whammy sports. Not only are you on a team, but you also have your PRs, your personal PBs, your personal best scores. So it's an at the same time, bowling is an individual and a team sport.
Word.
So that amps the competitiveness up, especially if you're competing with yourself.
And football players like to, run into things and smash into things. What better way than throwing the ball and shattering the pins down at the bottom of the...
I try to Fred Flintstone those pins. But my toes are so bad. I don't have any twinkle toes. Yep. Yeah, bowling is individual, but we bowl on a team, and so you get competitive because you don't want to lose. And I do. I get frustrated sometimes. Like, my first game was like 158, and I have a 200 average. And like I said, I've been having a hard time with my 7 pins, and I throw a great ball, and I see a 7 pin. I swear, I just want to break something. I do. I want to hit something or someone, and it just, it's just one of those things because that you threw a great ball or you did something good, and you're just like, what? And so,
and there's a 7 pin sitting there going.
Well, what quarterback did you want to hit more? John Elway, Ken O'Brien, number 7. Just put him up there and smash him away.
Yeah.
Our boy Rob Mullen wanted to know, Mark, with the trade line soon approaching, do you see us making a move at all, and at what position?
You know what? I don't. I really don't. If you're going to make any move for anyone at any point in time, probably McCaffrey was probably the best one out there. And we didn't get him because we don't need him. We have all the tools that we need. you know. And that's the thing. We have the tools that we need. So why mess up what you have, with something that's not going to really come in and bring any really, truly, truly added value to what we have? You know what I mean? I could see if we were hurting at a position where it's like, oh, we definitely need someone. We're lacking here. We're lacking here. We're lacking there. But we're not, So therefore, it's like, let's just keep going on with the season. We have our guys. We have our unity. We have our base. And let's just keep it moving. Keep everybody on the same page,
I agree. And as far as the running back position goes, we give Singletary 15 touches a game. If McCaffrey came in, he's not going to get 25, 30. He's going to get those 15 that Singletary was going to do. And is he really going to make that much more of a difference with the opportunity he's given? That's the question.
No, out of the backfield, he does do some good things out of the backfield. He is a little shifty and a little bit more elusive, than Singletary. I feel, in my opinion, but I don't feel that Singletary is the guy that you say, oh, he's no good. He's no what's wrong. He's a top back in this league. And, and like I said, coaches can make him more successful. Okay. If Josh Allen can run plays and the running plays that you call for Josh Allen, you need to be calling for your running backs because those are your plays that are more successful. Quarterback counter, the keep is a read play. So
nope.
Phone's dead.
Oh, man. Well, hey.
I'm glad he got that Singletary comment in there, though. We've been saying it forever.
These Red Boys have been banging the drum for Devin Singletary. Boy, I tell you. I was listening to the show from last week, and I was like, we were doing those MVPs, and we did, I don't know, we discussed, like, some part of the offense first, and Scott went first, and he talked about motor. And then I got to Jarrod, and Jarrod was like, well, I'm going to talk about motor too. And I thought it was so funny because I was like, dude, Josh Allen just played like one of the best games of his whole entire life. And you both are like this running back. And I thought that was awesome. But
Well,
yeah,
Mark mentioned the counter play. I mean,
Yeah.
when the running back runs a counter, he's got the guard pulling something like that or a tackle. Sometimes even Mitch Morse, who's a hell of a puller. Watch the videos last week. But when the quarterback does a counter, the running back's the lead blocker. So if you want to talk about Josh Allen's success, like I mentioned last week, the MVP, the hidden MVP, the quiet guy, that's Singletary. Josh wouldn't be able to do those counters. He wouldn't have that pass protection he had. Yada yada yada. We said it all last week.
Yeah.
Singletary.
Hey, go Singletary, man. We've been saying it for a couple of years now. The dude just needs a shot behind a good line, and he's got it right now. They're just not calling his number as often as they should. They have been calling it more, but just not as much.
Right.
Like not comparable to a number one back. But how many of those guys are in the NFL right now? Like how many true number one running backs are there?
Yeah.
That aren't like doing a by committee thing. You know, even McCaffrey right now, he's doing that. I mean, Kamara's doing that down in New Orleans with some old guys. You know, there's not a whole lot of dudes that you're like
Derrick
he is
Henry,
the guy.
maybe.
Derrick Henry, I guess. Yeah, Taylor,
Maybe.
But anyway, there was a question. Let me see. Guys, thanks so much for participating and hanging out, and we're glad we got Mark for the time we got him. He's a really dear friend of the show, and always awesome when he's on. It's such a good. It still blows my mind that we can just like message him and talk to him, and he can come on and have a good time, be himself, and throwing bowling balls there.
That's what I was just gonna say. He was on for a little bit tonight, but he'll definitely be on a couple more times this year. So,
for sure.
like you said, we just ask, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll definitely be there." So, thank you, Mark.
So our boy Rob Mullen says, question for the Amigos. I like that we're getting the Amigos nickname.
Ole. Remember, I used to dap, whatever.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, do it again. Where's Rivera, man? I need Birdo. Question for the Amigos. What are the odds Green Bay reaches out to Bean for a trade involving Kumaro?
They do need a receiver over there.
I like that question. It's interesting.
And I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would advocate for that move for sure. Aaron Rodgers hated the fact that Kumaro got traded away. That was one of the big problems that came up in the locker room in the front office when that move was made. Yeah, that's a great question.
I mean, he's disgruntled right now, right? Rodgers is disgruntled. You want to make that man happy? Bring back somebody that he doesn't think you ever should have cut? Send some capital this way? I mean, he's been a little banged up. He plays. Is he even dressing? Is he healthy and dressing right now?
Not yet.
So, you've had Hodgins. We all want to see more Shakir, right? You got McKenzie in there. Crowder might be back towards the end of the season. We don't know. I don't know. Do you want to deplete that position group right now? Because like legitimately, I guess he's number 3, right behind Hodgins right now. He would be. That would be the depth, right?
Right.
So, but
I think that'd be a good move. Bills have a lot of cap space invested in the next bunch of years, and there's a lot of moves that we have to make to keep some of these key players. To add another draft pick would only help draft capital, moving up in the draft to help fix these positions. Right now we have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. If we can get a 4th or a 5th for Kumaro, I think that'd be a wonderful trade for sure.
the only thing
Go
ahead, Jerry.
They have 2 5ths. I'm sorry, they got 2 5ths. That Cody Ford trade to Arizona gave us another 5th round.
We can't forget what Kumaro brings to special teams too. So it's not only that receiving position, but if you trade him away, you're losing the good special teamers.
We're still tackling the guys at around the 15, 12-yard line.
I know, that's freaking sick, isn't it?
Without Kumaro when they decide to take it out.
So. That is a good point. Josh Cook, trade him to make room for OBJ. I would say if they did get rid of him, that is where you're going.
Yeah. OBJ would come in we're more than halfway through the season. He'd be really, really cheap right now at this point.
And I mean, you're getting close to the trade deadline here. There's other guys. There's guys that you don't even know are available that are available. DJ Moore is a guy that's been popping up a lot. I think he's probably too rich for the Bills' blood right now. But I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. I like Claypool. I like that Claypool idea so much, man. I think he's too much. I think he's too pricey. Maybe have the last 2 seasons kind of devalued him a little bit. I don't know. I don't think so. He's got so much potential. They'd want the moon for that kid.
Yeah, keep him there. He's one of the pieces.
Is OBJ on a team officially, or is he a free agent?
He is a free agent.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
even better. So you wouldn't even have to trade for him.
Yeah, there's
you just show him the money, or
that's still
basically wherever he wants to go.
They're saying though, there's a couple execs that came out and said that he is not going to be ready until December now.
Okay.
So not that it really matters.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that message?
Holly.
Scott.
No.
Holly Maddox
on
says
Facebook.
send a Zoom to her for Mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, if you were Joey Hatch, if you were a coach, what position would you bring in someone in for and why? Do you guys think we need anything at line? Because we're not even talking about our offensive line. Do you think we might need somebody there?
I think that's like the depth position that I would be worried about. There was some talk today on the radio about Cody Ford, in fact, and why you would get rid of him when he seemed to be coming around to his own. And that's kind of the player that you'd want. But here's the thing, and I want everybody to like take a step back and realize what we're talking about right now. You're literally talking about a second string wide receiver, maybe a third string wide receiver, and O-line depth. Like, and we're 5-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring this up when Mark was on, but it seems like a little bit of PTSD from like being a Bills fans for so long, right? Where like we feel like we need something, we need to reach and whatever. And trust me, man, Brandon Beane is sniffing for everybody. Brandon Beane knew Stephon Diggs was available before anybody knew. He knew the year before he was actually available. You know, Von Miller, nobody knew that he was available, and we got him. So like, you know, I'll say trust the process. You know what I mean? like for sure.
You said it.
It's worked out. It's doing what it needs to do. So
I love that process. It's wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so is there anything else with this game? I'd say real quick, like Aaron Rodgers, yes, that is the biggest deal. You know, and watch out for that chip he has on his shoulder coming in here. He's already tried to make a thing about, you know, they think we're going to go into Buffalo and be the big underdogs. Maybe that's what this team needs, blah, 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 blah. He's a double-digit, like the line is more than 10 points right now for the Bills.
Right, 10 and a half.
And that's never happened to Aaron Rodgers in his whole career. So he's trying to get his team amped up for this, to make a statement, to make a, you know, somewhat of a quarter season comeback here, and just be mindful of that stuff. I don't think this is the team that gets caught up in that kind of crap.
Right.
But he is really the only thing I'm worried about. I see this defense. It's middling. It's, you know, middle of the pack to lower the pack. There's not a lot that worries me there. You know, our team is just good everywhere on D, so I'm not worried about the run game. I'm not worried about the passing game. The only thing that worries me, like I said, that dude that's got Rodgers on his jersey. Mm-hmm. So come out, put up points, and take care of business. Yeah.
I look back to the last time Bills played against Rodgers at it was, I think, a 20 or 22-0 game. The Bills didn't score, but it was still under Leslie Frazier, and Leslie Frazier kept Rodgers to only like 56% passing. Mm-hmm. He threw a pick and threw a touchdown. So he did do well against that offense with Rodgers, and I think Rodgers had more weapons at that point. And I also feel like the defense wasn't as good as it is now. So, but Rodgers has also grown over the last 6 years. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I can't wait. And it's 8:20 on a Sunday night, guys.
Yeah. That's what I saw. Spartan said the only thing he's worried about was making it to work on time the next day.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
Oh, boy. We got people would rather have Jarvis Landry. I don't want Jarvis Landry at all. I don't know. OBJ, man. I got sold on the OBJ thing just a little bit as like an insurance policy. I think when the beginning of the season started and Gabe was limping around and not 100%. And now we see what Gabe Davis is. He's back, and he's going to be a stud. It just took a little while for him to get over that injury. But, yeah, I don't know. I think they don't even need, like, an OBJ-type player. That would be nice. It would be completely nice. But I think just, like, a steady, solid, number 2 wide receiver, why not? Number 3, whatever. Like, a second-string number 2 receiver.
Yeah. OBJ was doing pretty good over when he played with the Rams, and if the Bills even got just him being on the field, just his presence on the field would have to be, you have to pay attention to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that might give other players on the field a chance. And if that's even just the case, then so be it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And you said Denver shopping Jerry Jeudy. I think he's going to be way too expensive. I think he's got way too much upside. I would love if people thought that he was just a flop because of what's been going on in Denver, but I don't think you're going to get that. I think he's.
Would he still be under rookie contract?
God,
is he still under?
You might get him for a deal, but I doubt it. I'm sure he's going to want insurance wherever he's going next. But maybe.
Who's that?
Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, yeah.
You sent the zoom on the
you got to take that off there, buddy.
There's a reply. I don't know why it gave it to that.
No, yeah, delete that. Oh, wait, I got you.
Yeah, we're going to have everybody jumping in.
There you go. It gone.
It gone?
Were you able to sell it or send it to Holly?
That's why I replied it to.
Okay.
Just do it. You didn't do it in Messenger?
Yeah, I'll do it on Messenger.
That's where you need to do it. Yeah. All right, so score prediction, bold prediction. I mean, we only got like 10 minutes left, Scott. So whatever he wants to do, but you can just catch up with us next time too.
Yeah, it's fighting me right now.
Yeah.
Mark, we'd love to have you come back. We'll just have you on another show, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean,
thanks, Holly. We appreciate you trying to reach out and do that. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Enjoy your time, Mark. Bring your score up because I know you're pulling away from your team right now and they need you.
All right, so score prediction, bold prediction. Let's start down south there, Jerry. What do you got?
Score prediction. I think the Buffalo Bills offense is just going to continue to roll, and they're going to put 45 points up there. Also think that the defense is going to continue to do their thing. It's hard to stop Aaron Rodgers. I think he'll put 17. So 45-17. My bold prediction is that the Buffalo Bills offense will go over 500 yards total for the second time this year.
Ooh. So you said Green Bay, huh?
Buffalo Bills 45, Green Bay 17.
Scooter Magooter. Score.
I'm thinking same kind of story, man. I think the Bills with a bye week, coming off a bye week, they always do good off the bye week. Knock on wood. They'll be prepared for this defense, and if Rashawn Gary's not feeling all that well and that defense is banged up, there's no reason why the Buffalo Bills can't run house offensively on these guys. So I'm putting up the 40 banger every time. I'm going 42, and I don't think with what our defensive backs look like against all these other offenses. We played a Mahomes offense. We played a Cooper Kupp. We played Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And look what our Buffalo Bills defensive backs and defense has done against them pass-wise. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw the ball 50 times this game, and I just don't see, with this lack of wide receiver core, I don't see them producing much of anything, let alone having the confidence to go against our Buffalo Bills secondary. So 42, I'll go 17 as well, Jay. I'm going the same score as you. I would hate, and this is one of those things that old Bills fans would agree with. Sammy Watkins is coming back. He hasn't played against the Buffalo Bills at home, I think, since he was drafted. So this will be a game where Sammy Watkins might come in with a chip on his shoulder, and I'd hate for him to be successful.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Sammy Watkins.
I'm just saying, man, he was wide open a bunch of times this past week, and Rodgers couldn't find him.
Yeah. I don't know.
My bold?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. I thought that was the bold. Watch out for Sammy Watkins.
My bold prediction is going to be a Russo's catching up in sacks. Von Miller will get his one more to make 7. Russo will get 2 to 3 to tie him up.
Ooh, I like it. As far as I am concerned, I would like to say that if Josh Allen was actually going to play a full 4 quarters, I think that I agree with my boy Joey Hatch that this would be over 50 points. He will not get a chance to because this is going to be a murder. And I say it's 45-13. I don't think that this offense is going to be able to sniff the goal line. And I think this is exactly the kind of beatdown statement that they're going to make, because this year the Buffalo Bills have beaten the teams they're supposed to beat handedly and beaten good teams that are supposed to be good teams. They get it. They win. They find a way to win. And it's never too big. That Miami game, I think you can put an asterisk next to that one all day long. So, yeah, sorry. Looks like the Facebook feed is all messed up now. That's cool. I'll put the YouTube
There you go, Facebook
stream in here. Yeah, there we go.
I think someone wrote, I think Joey Hatch, Facebook shit again.
Yeah, there you go. Switch her on over to YouTube if you can, kiddos, or Twitch or Twitter. But yeah, so that's my my score prediction. My bold prediction is that Trey does come back, Trey does play, and Trey gets a pick. That is my bold prediction.
Love it.
That.
Love it.
So, Rob says, what did I miss? I say Trey comes back and he gets a pick. That's my bold prediction, Rob. Josh Cook says 42-10 Bills. Elam and Poyer both get a pick. I like it. Sorry,
I like those.
Sorry for everybody that got the Facebook feed crapped out on them. But
yes, second time in 4 weeks it's done it.
I love that they're still having a conversation over there, even though the feed's not going. I love you guys so much. All right, X Factor. Scott, go ahead, buddy. What is your X Factor?
My X Factor is, I don't know, you can kind of use the comments that Rodgers had this week, being on a slump, not doing so well, being an underdog by 10.5 points right now in Vegas. This might be the perfect game for us. This might be the game that we need. I kind of looked at it as a backhanded kind of, we're underrated. We can beat these guys. There's no, it's just one of those things. So my X Factor is practicing and keeping it, getting the game plan, and having the whole bye week. X Factor is being prepared. Just be prepared. You got to treat every game like it's your last one.
I like it. I'll lock it. What do you say, Jerry?
Yeah, my X Factor is going to go lead into Aaron Rodgers once again. I think he's the only one, obviously, at the quarterback position that can hurt us. So my X Factor is going to be the D-line and the pressure that they have on Aaron Rodgers. He's quick. He's one of those guys who can slide and maneuver in the pocket. And after watching the Commanders game, the Commanders only ever brought 4 the whole game, pretty much. They never blitzed Rodgers, and they were still getting pressure on him. Now they have to face our Buffalo Bills. Our Von Miller and Oliver and Russo and all those guys who are, playing gap responsibility, playing like they know what the player beside them's doing, like responsible football. And I think that's going to be the X factor. They're going to continue that and just dominate.
I like it. My X factor is going to be similar. I think it comes down to the leadership of this team. I think that the leaders in this locker room need to keep all these young kids and all the newcomers with their head on a swivel. Keep everybody neutral. Keep everybody calm, and say, do not get tripped up by this team. Do not get tripped up by a first ballot Hall of Famer. Don't get thinking that you're too big for yourself. Everybody stays chill. Everybody does their job, and you go in and you just lay the hammer down the way you're supposed to, the way everybody expects you to. Just live up to that. Make it a non-story. I want to turn on Good Morning Football, and have them be like, yeah, the Bills did what we thought they were going to do anyway. This quarterback controversy in New England or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear about how the Bills didn't do what they were supposed to do. I want it to be boring. I love it when it's a blowout and it's boring. That is my favorite game.
It's very important the way you head into the bye week. You want to win. And then either way you look at it, you lose or you win, that's a long bye. People are either itching to get a win back in after losing or continue to win after they won. So this is going to be a huge game for the rest of the season. because it's coming off that bye. These players have to be ready and just being able to continue to push forward with how they're playing. And it can be a big push for them for the rest of the way. That's how they start this bye game.
I like it. All right. So Pandemonium Pick'ems. I didn't skip it this time. You see that? You see that?
What, do you got a 2-point lead on me now?
No, I got 3 points on you. Yeah. I've been, just cruising at the top this whole time.
but
You're creeping. Like the creeper you are.
Right from the get-go, Swank. You've been going.
So I'm sitting there. I know you guys can't see the graphic. Sorry, we had to adjust some stuff and stuff got screwed around, but it'll be there next week, I promise. But I'm looking at it right now. I am at the tippy top, 28-10. That's right. Put your FanDuel bets in now. Swank guarantees you 28 wins out of 38 every time. Scott 25-13, and Jarrod 20-18. Look at you creeping your little percentage up there. Isn't that
50-50?
Isn't that adorable?
Totes adorbs.
Totes adorbs, bro. So we all have the Buffalo Bills. If I am looking at a schedule currently, it looks as though we have the Patriots and the Jets.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Dolphins and the Lions.
Dolphins and the Lions. Who go? You guys want me? You guys pick how you want it to go. I've been sitting up here for a while. You want me to put my cards on the table? I'll do it. If not,
as I look down upon you and see.
I think whoever's ahead of every week should be the first one to pick their picks.
All right, you got it.
Good call.
So I'll just be picking first. Every
the rest
week
of the season.
I'm gonna go Jets. Jets over the scrumming Patriots. I know they just lost Hall for the season. They also just lost a big lineman, but I don't think that Mac Jones or Zeppi can get it done. Not against Sauce Gardner. Jets.
Perfect storyline for the next week. Jets win. It'll be 6-2 versus 6-1. What a matchup for 1:00. Going Jets.
Well, they're playing at New Jersey, so I got a feeling that I'm picking New England Patriots for this one.
Ooh, you better.
Jets are what? Jets are 6-1.
What?
The Jets are 5-2.
5-2. All right. Well, I think we're gonna be put down a little step here. It's an AFC East rival game, so they're always gonna be tough. So I think New England's gonna squeak this one away.
All right.
And I gotta catch up somehow.
You do. We got Dolphins at the Lions. Tua is back. He apparently, if you ask any Miami fan, he played like this amazing game this last weekend. I didn't watch it, but I did hear that he threw 4 interceptions that were dropped, like blatant interceptions that were dropped. So I think, the Lions' defense is horrible, like the worst in football, and now the offense is starting to come back down to real life. I would love the Lions to cream the Dolphins, but I just don't see him keeping up. I think Tua keeps his little lucky streak shit going, and the Dolphins win.
I'm going Miami as well.
Nope. Lions got it. I'm doing this, guys.
That's
2
right.
6.
I'll be picking
He came
first
back.
next week.
He's 4-0. He's 4-0 as a Miami Dolphin quarterback this year, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, what I saw last week against the Steelers is he was sitting on the bench with that same worried face he was when they were playing against the Buffalo Bills. The defense bailed him out. The opposing defense didn't make enough plays, opportunistic plays to set up the other offense. 60% passing, 4 interceptions that were dropped. I mean, these were bad interceptions. They're not like high point picks or any of that. That was right in these guys' hands, and they could not do it. And they still only won 16-10. Tua's not the same following that back injury. And, it's just I don't see them keep riding that horse. Dolphins fans are delusional. And
following that back injury, he says.
It's to the point, Jarrod, where Chris Collinsworth made it a point, and I think the NFL's in his ear to say that he trusts the doctors in following that back injury and then the head injury. I mean, it's almost like they're trying to push these guys to say the right thing to protect them. A doctor got fired. You don't fire doctors for not doing the right thing. So, and Tua, as a nurse in the health field for over 10 years, they're putting his life at risk. That was a double impact injury, and he's still having. It's 3 weeks. That stuff can last months to years, and he's back within 3 weeks. Irresponsible by the Miami staff. At this point, it's Miami.
You're just saying that because the Dolphins beat the Bills.
No, Jarrod, I'm saying that because I'm a
no.
I'm
These are all the excuses.
I know I'm a healthcare professional. I'm not one of these guys that goes to a Miami Dolphins fans and they're drunk and all that stuff, and they think the Bills fans are crazy because we lost to them. It's not one of those situations. I'd say the same thing about Josh Allen if it happened to him, and I'm telling you the truth. This is very scary because to see he had a run last week against the Steelers, Swank and Jarrod, where he didn't slide, he lowered his head, and if I'm telling you, it's gonna take something that normally wouldn't look like a hard head hit to put him down and permanently. I'm gonna say it. One of the worst things you can ever see on a field is someone, and another brain injury like that. If his brain is still swollen and something bad happens and he's laying there motionless and lifeless on that field, then there's going to be a lot of fucking explaining to do. And it pisses me off because it's bad. It's not good for the NFL or the Miami Dolphins, and it's sickening.
And he's got parents too, and that's what's scary.
He's got family, he's got parents, he's got friends, and someone needs to jump in. This guy should have been at least out for the season.
Yep.
Anyways,
they're going to ruin his career. So
they are,
and he's going to let it happen because he wants to play. And
for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go look up second impact syndrome, and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a scary thing.
Secondimpactsyndrome.com. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So now on to the toilet bowls. I also wanted to say that, like, who cares what Collingsworth says? If anybody really listens to Collingsworth, just stop. And B, maybe it is a back injury because Tua's head was up his ass. You know what I'm saying? Hey, boom. But yeah, in all seriousness, man, this shit is crazy. Like, don't get the kid killed on the field, please. Like, that's the gist of this. So we're looking here for some garbage games, and right off the bat, we got Broncos at Jaguars. Very first game of the week, 9:30 a.m. coming straight from jolly old England. Aye,
jolly old England,
Sporty. So I will say that Broncos defense is serious, but Russell Wilson is a wiener. And Jaguars, man, I don't know, can ETN be a feature back in that backfield with Trevor Lawrence against that defense? It's like the Jags D is garbage and the Broncos offense is garbage, but the Jags offense I like a little bit, and the defense for the Broncos is legit. So it's really going to be the Jags offense against the Denver defense. Whoever has the most turnovers wins this one, I think.
There you go.
So I'm going to go with the Broncos, I believe.
I'll go Jaguars. I like the Jaguars in this game.
Don't you know, for a while there, the only time the Jaguars won is when they did go to London.
That's where they were. What was that? What was that accent?
London. Jacksonville. I got Jacksonville as well.
Doesn't
Cincinnati and Cleveland play? Should that be another bowl?
No.
I think Cincinnati's 4-3 now, and everybody's
dude.
counting them for real now. So
yeah, since he's waking up.
Yeah.
I mean, Raiders Saints would be close. Titans Texans. The Titans are on a little bit of a run. Commanders Colts. That's garbage.
Yeah. That definitely is garbage.
I want to pick a game that I want you guys to pick.
All right, go ahead.
Seahawks versus the Giants.
Saw that. I'm going Seahawks all the way. Dable is a sham. He is a fraud, and he is going to be exposed. And we were talking about this earlier this week, and I really wanted to bring it up, but it is. Here we go, folks. We're in overtime. That's right. We're in overtime. So I think I'd like to get on this next week, and we're going to do our AFC rankings next week of the entire AFC. We'll have another week worth of games, so please put your list together, ranking best to worst on the AFC side of the ball. This whole narrative about the Bills not winning close games, when all that came out, it was they can't close games, right? Like blah blah blah. The Dolphins game, they can't win close games. They're 0-7, whatever, 1-7, and now they beat the Ravens.
Baltimore.
They beat the Chiefs in a close game. Like that's all BS. My question is, where was all the talk because they're saying the Bills couldn't win close games? That was Dable's offense. Dable's offense was the one that couldn't close out close games.
Now look what they're doing in New York.
And now you're looking at what's going on in New York. And to me, the dude is, you want to talk about luck and coin flips and all that stuff? He is like skirting by. And hey, good on you for Giants fans and all that stuff, man. Great. But you're on a razor thin line right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, through the first 6 weeks or 7 weeks now that they've played games, now you have tape on this dude. Now you know how Brian Dable operates. And we all know how he calls games. And Daniel Jones, no matter what you want to think of him, is not Josh Allen. He is not. You can run this dude as much as you want. To me, it looks an awful lot like the Bears. He's like a less athletic Justin Fields. And you're putting him out there out of desperation. And I don't see them winning these low-scoring games forever. I think that it's over. I think Geno Smith, who the hell ever thought I was going to say this out loud? Geno Smith is going to dismantle the New York Giants this weekend, and it's going to be the start of the Dable downward spiral, as we all have felt in Buffalo to some aspect. I actually don't. I know a lot of people wanted to explain away Josh Allen's success using Dable. I think Dable fooled everyone because Josh Allen is a freak, an absolute freak. So I think Dable skirted, and now he's just he's lucky Sean's there, putting the right guys in front of him, and he's got people believing in him. Good for him. He's smoking cigars outside the stadium, signing autographs. Like, fine, dude. I just don't see it lasting. The ship is gonna sink.
So you're going Seattle.
I'm going in a twist. I'm going New York. No, yeah, Seattle, man. I think Geno's going to kill him.
I'm going Seattle, too. Look at these games real quick. They beat the Titans 21-20. Panthers 19-16. They beat the Giants 20-12. The Packers 27-22. Ravens 24-20. And just recently the Jaguars 23-17. Their games coming up, Seattle, Texans, and Lions. It's all setting up to make the Giants look like a double-digit winning football team. But they're barely squeaking these ones by, and they're not even good teams that they're squeaking by. So I agree, Swank. He'll be exposed.
What are the next three after this?
The Texans, the Lions, and then the Cowboys. So that'll be another telltale.
Texans, Lions, Cowboys. Watch them lose this weekend. Watch them lose a close game to the Texans, get a little bit of a bump with the Lions, and then get throttled by the Cowboys.
Right.
I'm calling all that right now.
There you go.
I wrote it down.
I'm going Seattle. Geno Smith's looking.
What do you got?
I'm rooting for Geno, man. He's doing some amazing things right now. He's got the confidence that all these other teams were hoping that he would have, and it's finally coming through for him. So I'm happy for him.
It's a great story, man.
Wonderful story.
You got the Seahawks too, Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Is that it? You want one more?
Let's do one more.
All right. We'll do Commanders at Colts.
I'm going Commanders. My buddy Josh Davies, my best friend, is a Commanders fan. They look good. Brian Robinson's looking good. They got Heineke in back there now.
Yeah, dude,
Cheers to him, man.
Dude, I
Keep
love
kicking
Heineke.
ass. Go Commanders. I just want some sort of competition there in the NFC East. So I would like to see them come up in the ranks.
Word.
I'll go Colts. No explanation. I just need to catch up somehow. You guys keep picking the teams that I really want to.
They're starting their rookie.
Colts are starting. Yep.
Yeah, starting their rookie quarterback. So I don't know. I think Matt Ryan's. He's always been spent like since the season started. So yeah, Commanders for me.
He's fallen in the same category as Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Sometimes you play in the league so long where your best talent that surrounds you gets old and they retire, and you guys still feel like you got it. It's just when you're 40 years old and you got 20-year-olds running your routes for you, you don't have that relationship because it's such a generational gap that there's nothing in common. There's no way to develop any chemistry. So that's what I think.
Yeah. All right, kiddies. Is that it? Did I miss anything? I think that's it. I think that puts a bow on it. Thanks for hanging out for our unorthodox Mark Maddox bowling experience with a Facebook crash and less graphics than normal kind of evening. But hey, man, we make it work because this is the K-Gun. I have the sorest throat, and it's just gotten worse throughout this whole day and this live stream. But I love you guys so much, man. You're not gonna pull me away from this. So we're going to do quick final thoughts, and we're going to get the hell gone. But we love you. Jerry, go.
Yep, go look up Help, the #1 foundation. Look up Mark's foundation there and spread the word. That's all we ask for. He's a great guy. He'll be on definitely a couple more times before season ends. Hopefully, during Super Bowl weekend. Yeah, guys, we're coming off a bye, 8:20 Sunday. Get your popcorn ready. This is going to be the push for the playoffs. And just be positive and think positive, have positive thoughts for this Buffalo Bills team. Can't wait to see him back on TV. It seems like it's been forever. I'll see everybody next Tuesday. Go Bills.
Stay posy.
Stay posy.
Go Scott.
Check us out on Sunday sessions. We usually do a pregame show at 11:30 for the 1 o'clock games. This week it's going to be 7:30. Our pregame show will tie in a bunch of information, tie in our final thoughts. But we love you guys' participation during the K-Gun Report and on Sunday sessions. So don't forget about that. Guys, last week I said it's time for the players to heal and our livers to heal. Now it's time to get back at it. It's a long Sunday until our Buffalo Bills play, but just drink responsibly. It's a long day. I know some people start drinking early and cheer on your Buffalo Bills. Hey, we got 11 straight weeks of football now until the playoffs. No bye week we'll have 11 straight weeks and then a bye week because we'll have that first week bye. So let's get at it. Let's get at it. Go Bills.
Nice. Love you guys. Hang out for Sunday sessions. Season up them livers. Yeah, all great stuff, guys. Great topics. Big up to our best friend, Mr. Mark Maddox, for always coming out here, putting a smile on your face. And for all you guys, man, continuing to support and all the comments and questions and switching over platforms when Facebook is being stupid. You guys make all this worthwhile. We love you very much. Don't forget to check out the live audio. I'm trying to get that podcast version of the show a little love and spread it out. You guys have been doing killer on YouTube. We're almost up to 100 subscribers. We're going to try and push that up here over the next week or two. But yeah, if you're into podcasts and you want to listen to the audio version, I listen while I'm at work. Go check out Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I upload it right after the episode airs, so you should have it by the morning. Or if you can't get to sleep and you just need some sultry talk so that you can fall asleep, I got you.
Your sore throat's not helping.
I know, dude. It's bad. It's
if you want to talk to someone about...
But you can join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report right here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook Live when it wants to work. And like I said, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. We love you guys. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Hey, go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group that